Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Diego here for another K1 Visa Green Card live stream. It is October the 27th, 2025. October the 27th, 2025, here in the Panhandle of Florida. Now, I'm not an immigration attorney. I don't give you legal advice. I don't work for USCIS. But you don't need an immigration attorney to file a K1 visa application. It's an easy process. The I-129F is easy to fill out. It's not difficult to do. Filing for a green card is an easy process. It's not difficult. You don't need an immigration attorney. So I'm amazed at how much money these people are spending to fill out an I-129F. An immigration attorney is going to charge you what, $3,000, $4,000? I don't know how much. A bunch of money. And it's crazy. You could use that money for a world cruise, right? Filling out an I-129F, I think it's what, 13 pages, 12, 13 pages. The only thing you got to do is make sure you're using the correct edition date and you're not using an expired form. And you got to make sure that you qualify for the K1 visa benefit before you apply for it. And then you go ahead and send it in. Mail it off using FedEx, UPS, or DHL. Don't use the postal system. Don't use the U.S. Postal Service to ship off your K1 visa application. You don't want to do that. You want to use a courier service. A courier service are in the business of making money. The U.S. Postal Service is in the business of just staying in business. Okay? FedEx, UPS, DHL, they are for profit. So when a company is for profit, they're not going to mess up your paperwork. They're going to get it from A to Z. They're going to get it from the courier office in your town to Louisville, Texas. Okay? So don't use the postal system to ship off your K1 visa. Use a courier service. Effective tomorrow, October 28th, 2025. Today's October 27th, 2025. Starting tomorrow, you're not going to be able to write a check to pay for your K1 visa. You're not going to be able to use a money order. You're not going to be able to use a cashier's check. Starting tomorrow, you're going to have to use USCIS form G1650. Okay? So you're going to go to the uscis.gov/forms, look for the form G1650, fill it out, take it to your bank, and say, I'm fixing to pay for my K1 visa. Please don't block the transaction, because if you just mail it off to immigration, your bank may block the transaction. So you need to tell your bank what you're going to do. So then that way they will make sure that immigration gets paid from your checking account or from your savings account. Doesn't matter which one, but you got to use form G1650 starting tomorrow. I'll write it down here. G1650. Pay for K1 visa or green card. Or green card. That's what you got to use. If you write a check tomorrow for your K1 visa application, it's going to be it's going to be sent back to you. Okay? Immigration's not going to accept the payment. And then you're going to be having to redo everything over again. But if you listen to Diego and you watch this channel, and if you are being good students of K1 visas and green card class, you're going to pass with flying colors and you're going to get your K1 visa approved. It's taken about 6 to 7 months, 8 months, 9 months at the tops. Okay? 9 months tops for getting K1 visas adjudicated. So you file your K1 visa with immigration. You send it to Louisville, Texas. Okay, you're going to include form G1650 in there. Fill it out correctly. Then you're going to get your NOA1 letter once the bank has paid USCIS for the K1 visa application. Then what happens? You get your NOA1 letter. Then what happens? Well, you're going to wait 6, 7, 8, 9 months for your NOA2 letter. Then what happens? Then you're going to wait for the service center to mail your green card, your K1 visa application to the National Visa Center in New Hampshire. Then what happens? The National Visa Center is going to get it, and they're going to review it for any mistakes. Now, remember, the National Visa Center do not have authority to deny visas or approve them. They cannot deny them, and they cannot approve them. So if the USCIS submits your K1 visa application to the NVC, and the NVC finds any mistakes in it, they'll send it back to the service center. They can't deny it. Jay Baxter, good evening to the Ross family. What's going on, Jay Baxter? How are you? How's your family? We hope everyone's doing well. Do I hear cats, or is it a chair? So the National Visa Center, they get it. Then they're going to contact the U.S. consulate or the embassy to find out how busy they are. They'll call the U.S. Embassy in Manila, Philippines. They'll call the U.S. Embassy in Bogota, Colombia. They will call the U.S. Embassy or actually the consulate in Mumbai, India. Now, remember, in India, you have the U.S. consulate, and those are the folks that process K1 visas. And that's where you're going to go for your K1 visa interview in Mumbai. But there's also the U.S. Embassy in New Delhi, India. But the U.S. Embassy in New Delhi, India, has got nothing to do with K1 visas. That's all to do with helping Americans. If you're a tourist on vacation in India, you lose your passport, you go to the U.S. Embassy in New Delhi. But if you are a K1 visa applicant, you will go to the U.S. consulate in Mumbai for your K1 visa interview. Jay Baxter, I'm doing good. She is doing good, just waiting and waiting and waiting for them to issue her green card. I understand. And you're in Oklahoma, right? Larry Piercy checking in. Moggy says, hello. Hi, Karina.
Hello, Moggy.
And Diego. Oh, you didn't forget me either. Okay, well, that's great. We hope Larry Piercy and Moggy are doing good. Now, don't forget, Larry, tomorrow is Moggy's English class, because tomorrow Karina has her English class. Okay? And it's almost November. Can you believe it? Where does the time go? Now, I know Maru, she's anxiously waiting for her NOA2 letter, so she's still in the hurry up and wait mode. And Larry and Jay Baxter, yes, we're in Oklahoma, the beautiful place. I've been to Oklahoma. I think I-40 crosses through the center of Oklahoma, right? And Larry Piercy, she doesn't miss. Good. She gets, and Karina, same. Karina's doing good. And Larry Piercy says, right, Karina. Karina is doing really well in her English class, and she's speaking English pretty good. And sometimes she said, yeah, she's doing good. She's going to get through it. Jay Baxter, yes, I-40 and I-1 and I-35, the interstate, crossed through the middle of Oklahoma. Yeah, I drove across Oklahoma. I was in Dallas, I think it was Dallas, Texas, and I drove up north to Oklahoma. Then I crossed Oklahoma on I-40. And then I went into, what's next? Or was it Texas? And I can't remember. It's been 20-something years ago. But I drove across Oklahoma. I remember when I stopped at the Media Crater in Arizona, too. I was driving to New Mexico, and I stopped at Media Crater to see where the meteorite hit the Earth in Arizona. It was pretty amazing. You know, there's a little rock created this big hole in the ground. So I stopped off there, and because I'm into that kind of stuff, you know, aliens and extraterrestrials and, you know, UFOs and all that kind of stuff. So in India, the U.S. Embassy in New Delhi doesn't handle K1 visa interviews. In Mumbai, the consulate handles it in Mumbai. Now, India's got the biggest population on the planet, second to China. So that's going to be the country with the most wait times. Okay? Waiting for interviews. It's kind of, you got to get in line and wait if you're in India. Bogota, Colombia, they have to deal with countries like Venezuela and Curacao. So they have a They're working pretty good. They're moving right along, processing K1 visas pretty fast in Bogota, Colombia, which is where Karina had her scary K1 visa interview back on November 23rd, November 23. Huh? 16. Where did I get 23 from? The 16th. She had her scary K1 visa interview on November 16th. 23rd, what was I thinking? And then here she is. And she got her 2-year green card, but in March, I think March 31st, we're going to be sending off her package for her 10-year green card. And then we're going to be waiting and waiting and waiting for her 10-year green card to get adjudicated. It's going to take about 21 months. There's a long wait time between the 2-year green card and the 10-year green card. So Karina will hopefully get her ready for U.S. citizenship before they even look at her 10-year green card application. She'll be going in for U.S. citizenship stuff. So she's just got to get her English skills up to bat, and she's doing great. She's in class twice a week. She's going to school. So if you're coming to the United States from a foreign country and you don't speak English, okay, immigration want to see you're learning English. They want to see you in class, okay? If you don't want to have a hard time trying to get your 10-year green card or become a citizen, if you can't speak English, you're not going to get U.S. citizenship right now. You got to be able to speak, read, write English, and understand the history of our country and the government, how it works. Okay, got to know all this stuff. Like when I was in Colombia, if I had a green card equivalency to live in Colombia, but I have to renew it every year. Well, I didn't renew it because I live in Florida and I brought Karina to the United States. But if I was to renew my Colombian visa to live in Colombia and then apply for Colombian citizenship after 5 years, I have to be able to speak fluent Spanish and know the history of Colombia, which I know the history of Colombia. So I could easily pass that class. But when you come to the United States, you got to learn English. Okay? It's just one of them things. And I know you can do it. You can do it. You made it this far. But if you're from India, the Philippines, Indonesia, a lot of these folks can speak English already fluently, especially for the Filipinos that can speak fluent English. So you don't have such a hard time. You just got to get used to living in a different kind of a culture in America. If you're used to living in a little village in southern Philippines, then all of a sudden you're living in New York City. That's a big change, right? So that's why the Philippine government has this class that you have to go to help you get ready for when you leave the Philippines to live in the United States. Maru! Hello, Diego and Karina. And Francois. Where's Francois? Good evening, Diego and Karina. Francois Livingston. And God's Power Thomas. Good evening, Karina and Diego. And Maru. Hello, Diego and Karina. And Larry Piercy, Jay Baxter. Now, all these folks are members of this channel. And what does it mean to be a member of this channel? It means you got my phone number or Karina's phone number. You got the phone number to this phone right here. And you got my email address. So if you need any help with your green card or your K1 visa application and you just want to call me, you can because you got my phone number. But I created the membership for folks so that way I know who's got the phone number and who's got the email address, because that's kind of sensitive information, right? You don't want to put that out publicly. There was some idiot on the channel today was just saying something stupid, I don't know what she said, but it was just some idiot. So I responded and said, okay, well, thanks for writing. We appreciate it. But it was another idiot out there in YouTube land. But that's okay. We weed them out by creating the channel, and I weed out the idiots by creating the membership. Basically, it's not very expensive. I think it's $9.99 a month, and then you can call me and text me whenever you want, and I can help you with the green card process. Karina's been in the United States. It will be 2 years on January 3rd of 2026. She'll have her 2 years here, and the time went by pretty quick. She has her 10-year green card application ready to go. We just basically just collecting a little bit more evidence each month, the bills and pictures and things like that. And Karina started her own little coffee company. That's just about ready to launch in January. I've got people working on her website. They're the techies. I don't have time to be building websites and doing all that stuff, SEOs and copywriting and all that jazz. I just hire someone to do that. That's their job. So that just basically, Karina is already helping the economy of Florida with starting a business, a coffee business. And if you're a member of this channel and you've been a member of this channel for 4 months, you get a free bag of coffee if you want. Well, Karina will send it to you. If you've been a member of this channel for 4 months, Karina will ship you a free bag of coffee. And if you don't drink coffee, she'll send you a coffee mug. All right, look at that. That's top of the line right here. And if you and then if you want a keychain, she'll even send you a keychain and a sticker. She got stickers too. I don't know if you can read that, but anyway. So if you have been a member of this channel for 4 months or longer, just text Karina your address and tell her if you want roasted coffee or beans, and she'll just ship you a bag of coffee for free. What a deal, right? Or a coffee mug. But when you come to this country, America, the United States, a constitutional republic, when you come here, Mr. Beneficiary, Miss Beneficiary, don't be afraid to do stuff. Don't be scared to start something new, whether it's a coffee business or a car detail business or open up a restaurant. I mean, you have opportunities beyond belief here you could become a millionaire in 5 years. Look at Arnold Schwarzenegger. He came here from Austria and he was a multimillionaire in 3 years. He started a construction company. He started a company that nobody else wanted to do. He started a business that nobody else wanted to do, which was building stuff. So he started a construction company, became a multimillionaire. And then he went into Hollywood and movies. And then he was governor of California for 8 years. And then he was back in movies. And then he did bodybuilding shows. I mean, he did all kinds of stuff. I mean, he's worth probably $400 million, even more than that. You know, he's not wanting for anything. And he did good. You can do it too. You just got to have an idea that you want to run with, you know. But first, you got to get your K-1 visa approved and your green card adjudicated. And then you need to focus on becoming a U.S. citizen. Now, I've lost count of how many videos I've made on how to file for K-1s and green cards. I've made over 1,000 videos. I lost count. And, you know, whenever the phone's ringing. But that's okay. It's just one of those bogus telephone calls. Do you ever get those bogus phone calls on your cell phone? Somebody uses a phone number where you think they're calling from down the road when they're really calling you from like another country. Don't you just get sick and tired of that? Sometimes I'll answer the phone and start speaking Spanish. And you're like, what? You know, anyway. I can answer any question on K-1 visas, on green cards, 2-year, 10-year. I can help you with your spousal visa if you're going through a spousal visa. Now, you got to remember this. Lots of people are asking me about Form I-130 when they're filing for their green card, their 2-year green card. You don't file Form I-130 when you're filing for a 2-year green card on a K-1. If you're a U.S. citizen, let's suppose you had a 10-year green card, then you became a U.S. citizen and you decided you want to bring your mom over. It only takes about a year to do that. Okay, that's when you file Form I-130 for your mom, for your dad, for your brother, for your sister. But you don't file Form I-130 for a 2-year green card when you came in on a K-1. It doesn't exist. People are saying, I'm filled out the I-130, it's going to cost me $625. I said, what are you doing? Number one, shred the form. Number two, shred the check. I just saved you $625. Now, God's Power Thomas, you're doing a lot better now. You're in a much happier position, right? You're doing much better now. We saved you. We saved your green card. What is it? Let's see. There's a message here. It's junk. It's junk. People send me junk messages. You got to mess with these people. They're just trying to get on your cell phone, get you to open up a message, and then get into your bank and then start stealing money. You know, that's why you got to be careful what kind of applications you put on your phone. Just the bare minimum. When you come to the United States, you're brand new to the country. You came from a foreign country, your country you are used to. Now you're in America, and you all of a sudden you got an iPhone or an Android or whatever you have, and then you got to get, everybody's putting these applications on their phone. Oh, you got to have the Starbucks application. You got to have the McDonald's application. Don't be putting those apps on your phone. The bare minimum. Okay? When you put an application on your phone, you're giving somebody access to your phone. Okay? So be careful what applications, the applications on this phone, the bare minimum. Let's see here. I'll open it up. Okay, on this phone is Instagram for Karina, because she has her friends in Venezuela and Colombia. There's WhatsApp, so she can talk to mom in Venezuela, right? There's the bank. There's the informed delivery from the post office, so I know what mail's coming to the house. There's Karina's work application, so she knows what her schedule is. And then there's an astronomy guide on here. And then YouTube, there's the YouTube Studio, and then the YouTube regular YouTube application, plus the Gmail. That's it. Hardly anything. But if you want to put a McDonald's app on your phone, you're giving McDonald's all access to all kinds of data, all kinds of stuff. So don't do that. Okay? Larry Piercy, Diego, we will be mailing to Chicago again. You're going to be mailing to Chicago. No, you're going to be mailing. You're talking about Morgie's 10-year green card? Is that what you're talking about? You're going to be mailing her 10-year green card application to Elgin, Illinois. Yeah, I know I'm Nostradamus, okay? I can read Larry's mind. I can read everybody on the channel right now. I can do a mind meld. You're going to be mailing Morgie's 10-year green card application to Elgin, Illinois. Okay? And don't forget, November, Veterans Day, free steak dinner at Texas Roadhouse. Free pasta at Olive Garden. Free dinner. If you're a veteran or the wife of a veteran, like Karina is a veteran's wife, so she gets to go eat with me at Texas for free, Texas Roadhouse. She gets those big steaks. But I just don't know if I'm allowed to eat those French fries anymore, the steak fries. Probably I will this time. I haven't had French fries in 4 freaking months, but I think I'll just give it a shot. Yes, Larry, it's going to go to Elgin, Illinois for Morgie's 10-year green card. Hopefully you're collecting the evidence for her 10-year green card. You got to keep collecting bills. Like Karina, she's on all the bills: the electric bill, the water bill, the trash bill, the sewer bill, all the bills. Is Elgin not in Chicago? I just know Elgin is in Illinois. I don't know if it's in Chicago. It could be, but I've only been to Chicago one time, and that was enough for me. Abduli Jallo. Hi, Diego. Greetings to you and Karina. Watching from Florida. Welcome. We're glad you're watching. Angel Mercia. Hi, Diego. Much blessings. Angel, what's going on? We hope you're doing well. We hope Abduli and Angel, your family, are doing well. Come on to the live stream. It's time to learn some new things. You don't need an immigration attorney to file a K-1 visa application. You don't need an immigration attorney to file for a 2-year green card. You don't need an immigration attorney to lift the conditions off of a 2-year green card for a 10-year green card. You don't. The process is very easy, but it's made complicated by the way USCIS has written up the process. When you go and read up on the USCIS website how to do this, it's like you got to have a PhD in business math, right? It's kind of complicated. So I put the channel together to make it easy for you guys to understand how to do this. Okay, that's the whole purpose of this channel, is to help you get your green card and your K-1 visa without spending $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 on these immigration attorneys. Now, I'm not saying they do a bad job, but I'm just saying, they go to law school, they take the bar exam, they do great, they do good work for the most part. But number one, you don't want to put a third party in charge of your K-1 visa. When you file your K-1 visa, you, Mr. Sponsor, need to be in control, not an immigration attorney. You need to be in control of your K-1 visa. So that way, if there's anything crops up with immigration, they're going to contact the sponsor, not the attorney. The attorney can get busy. The attorneys can take vacations. You could get an RFE. It could sit in the attorney's inbox for, a couple of days when you need to respond to it right away. So that's, and it's not hard to do this process, guys. Abduli Jallo, Diego, what are the forms required for a 2-year green card adjustment of status under K-1 visa? Well, let's go over the forms for the adjustment of status. What are the required forms for a 2-year green card adjustment of status? Well, you're going to need the 485, which is the beneficiary needs to fill out USCIS form I-485, which is the adjustment of status. The sponsor has to fill out USCIS form 864, the affidavit of support. You got to repeat the medical exam, so you're going to need form 693 and the recertification of the vaccinations. Okay, you got to repeat the medical exam with a civil surgeon authorized by the State Department to give medical exams for green cards. You're going to have to make a nice big color copy of your I-94, which is the Border Patrol face-to-face check-in. You got to print the I-94. In fact, print 6 copies of the I-94, the Border Patrol form. You got to have a nice blown-up color copy of the K-1 visa and the K-2 visa. You got to have blown-up color copies of the biographic pages of the sponsor's passport and the beneficiary's passport. The biographic page, which is the photo, the signature, and the expiration date of the passport. You got to have a certified copy of your marriage certificate from the clerk of the court. You cannot go to Office Depot and make a copy of your marriage certificate for the 2-year green card. You got to get a certified copy from the clerk of the court. And I recommend you get the clerk of the court's business card and staple it to the bottom left-hand corner of the marriage certificate. You got to get certified copies of divorce decrees if you have any divorces. If you've been married, if you have a divorce one time, you got to have a certified copy from the courthouse of the divorce decree. If you've been divorced twice, you got to have 2 certified copies of the divorce decrees. If your husband or wife passed away, you got to have certified copies of the death certificate. If you are, like, supposing from the Philippines and you had an annulment, because it's impossible to get a divorce if you're a Filipino in the Philippines. The only thing you can do is get an annulment. You'd have to get a copy of the annulment certified by the judge in the Philippines. What else do you need for a 2-year green card? Well, you need pictures of the wedding, pictures of the honeymoon, pictures when you first started dating all the way up to the day you mail the green card application. You need to be on the bank accounts. You should be joint bank account owners now. So you should have at least 2 bank statements showing both names on bank accounts, on bank statements. Get a Sam's Club card, get one each with both names on it, showing that you're both a member of Sam's Club or BJ's Wholesale. Get your names on the electric bill, the water bill, all the bills. Get both names on there. You're going to have about 2 bills come in, so it takes about 60 days to put a 2-year green card package together. And in those 60 days, you want to start collecting the evidence, bank statements, electric bill, water bill, trash bill, etc. And both names need to be on there, plus more photos. Okay? And you got to make sure you include the marriage certificate. Some people forget the marriage certificate. Certified from the clerk of the court. So you get married, you get a certified clerk of the court marriage certificate here, and they give you a second one for free usually. But you want to buy 3 or 4 more for $10, $15, $20 a piece, because you're going to need certified marriage certificates for your 10-year green card when you apply for U.S. citizenship. You're going to need certified copies of your marriage certificate when you apply when you lift the conditions off your 2-year green card for your 10-year green card, when you apply for U.S. citizenship. Same for divorce decrees. Get certified copies, get them up front, and plan down the road so you don't have to be scrambling. Because if you file a 2-year green card application without certified copies of your divorce decrees and marriage certificate, your green card's just going to get denied. If you fill out the green card application and you don't fill out the 864 correctly, the affidavit of support, if you mess up the family size, if you don't calculate the income correctly, if you don't include your tax returns, your tax transcripts, your W-2s, your 1099s, your pay stubs, a letter from your boss saying where you work, how much you make, if you don't include that stuff in the 2-year green card application, your green card's going to get denied. Immigration are no longer going to be babysitting people with their 2-year green card applications. They're going to just, if you submit it and it's full of errors, it's going to be straight out denied and be sent back to you. And I'm trying to prevent that from happening. So did that help you, Abdullah Jallo? Did that help you? Did that give you some idea of exactly what is required for your 2-year green card? Okay? Don't make any mistakes on the paperwork. 0. Don't misspell anybody's name. Don't get any numbers messed up, like the passport number, social security numbers. Don't mess up any paperwork. Any mistakes in typos is going to be a denial. Immigration is done with the RFE game. You submit a good application, you get your green card. You submit a bad application, it's going to be denied. And then you're going to be jumping through all kinds of hoops to try to fix it. Angel Mercia, waiting for the cafecito in January. Ah, yes, you're waiting for the coffee in January. Well, I mean, are you waiting for what coffee exactly? Are you waiting for Karina to kick off her company? That's she's going to do? Yeah, she's going to kick it off in January. It's a lot of work putting a company together. It's not just, you just don't wake up one morning and say, okay, we're going to be in a coffee business. This business idea started 3 years ago when we were in Bogota, Colombia, and we went to coffee farm. We worked on a coffee farm the whole day, picking coffee beans, weighing the coffee beans, drying the coffee beans, washing the coffee beans, learning how these coffee beans went from here to here. We learned the process from A to Z. So that was just the beginning. Somebody asked me, how do you put a coffee business together? Well, first you got to go to I would recommend you go to Colombia and go spend a weekend on a coffee farm picking coffee beans. Start with that. That's how you learn to do the coffee trade. So all of Karina's coffee is going to come from Medellin, okay, a specific farm in Medellin. And then that gets shipped to New York where it gets roasted. Then it gets shipped to us, roasted and bagged and ready to go. And in January, that's when Karina will kick off her company and And then if you remember the channel for 4 months, you get a free bag of coffee anyway. So that's what happens. You sign up as a member, you get a free bag of Carina's fresh off the press coffee. But we're only going to be selling Supremo coffee. Now, Supremo coffee is based on the bean size. Okay? Bean size is very important, and altitude, where the beans were grown, how the elevation, excuse me, all that comes into play. So it's going to be Supremo. See, look right here on the t-shirt. Supremo roasted coffee or the beans, and Supremo means number one, top shelf. So it's the best. And the flavor is never going to change, because we're going to always do business with the same coffee farmers who grow their coffee beans at the same altitude every year. So the flavor is not going to change. But anyway, Carina is loving life in America. I'm loving life with Carina. She likes going to the beach. We didn't go too much this summer. We just didn't go too much because tourists come in here and block up the traffic anyway. So maybe I'll take her anyway. We'll go down there maybe during the wintertime. Check out the beach in the wintertime. Abduli, thank you so much, Mr. Diego. Appreciate it so much. Now, Abduli, it's no problem. That's why I put the channel together. But if you watch this, once this channel gets published, it takes like 24 hours for YouTube to complete the publication of this video. Go back and watch what I just said. Go watch the channel, watch the video over, and that way I just explained to you how to collect what's the correct paperwork for a 2-year green card. 485, 693, 484, vaccination recertification, I-94, marriage certificate, biographic page of all passports, K1 visa copies, marriage certificate. The A64, yeah, that's the affidavit of support. The affidavit of support is if you mess up the affidavit of support, when you file for your 2-year green card, if you mess up the USCIS form I-864, your green card is going to be denied. Just pay attention, class. I'm telling you, when the U.S. citizen sponsor fills out the A-64, there can be 0 mistakes on that form. Can't make a mistake. If you do, it's going to be a big problem. Immigration's going to say, well, if you don't even know how to fill out an 864, we're just going to deny your K1 visa or your 2-year green card. And then you're going to be asking me how to fix that. And I know how to fix that. So just be careful when you fill out the 864. Now, what's the difference between a joint sponsor that lives in your household with you, like grandma, or a joint sponsor that is a friend that lives across town or lives in another state? If you need a joint sponsor, it's no problem. If your income isn't sufficient and you need a joint sponsor, it's okay. Just get a joint sponsor. But if your joint sponsor lives in the house with you, like grandma, she lives in the back room, she'll fill out Form 864A. Because the contract is between the sponsor and grandma. But if your sponsor lives across town or lives in another state, then that sponsor will fill out 864 with you, the sponsor. Okay? Don't make that mistake. Francois Livingston, the citizenship test has been in the news quite a bit of late, saying how hard it is now. It's not hard. I read you are asked 20 questions and you have to get 12 correct answers. That's correct. With the U.S. citizenship test, right, as of now, there's 128 questions maximum that immigration can pull from. There's 128 questions. And I just made a video last month, or this month, on every single question that immigration could possibly ask you. So if you watch the video and memorize every question and the answer to every question, it doesn't matter what question immigration asks you at the U.S. citizenship test, out of the 20, you're going to get 12 right. Because I made a video for every question that you could possibly be asked. I was the first one out of the gate. All these other immigration attorneys collecting their big paydays and their big paychecks, they didn't even make that video, but I did. Francois, I know you did a video on how it's saved to watch super soon. You saved it to watch, no worries. When you get closer for Hammond. Remember, the U.S. citizenship process changes every presidency. Every time we have a new president, the U.S. citizenship test changes. You know, but that's just the way, that's just how cookies crumble. And for that, thank you for putting a video for all of us students. No worries. Remember, Francois, there's 128 questions on U.S. citizenship, on the government of America, the history of this country, etc. So you live in upstate New York. A question for Hammond would be, who is the governor of New York State? Well, it's Governor Hochul, right? Isn't it Hochul? I can't remember. I think that's how you pronounce her last name, Governor Hochul. Who's the governor of Florida? Well, right now it's Governor DeSantis. But that could change because he's termed out on term limits. They could ask you, who is your congressman or congresswoman from the district you live in? They could ask you, who is your senators? How many senators are there in America? How many U.S. senators are there? Well, there's 100. There's 2 per state. So how many states are there in the United States? Well, there are 50. Right? There are 50 states. Hawaii was the 50th state. Florida was the 45th, I believe. Or Texas was the 45th. Florida was 47, somewhere in there. But there's 50 states. 2 senators per state, that's 100 senators. Karina, what's the name of your state senator? She doesn't remember, but she's going to remember. Rick Scott.
Oh, yeah.
And this the other lady, I can't remember her name either. But we got 2 senators. Let's see here. Better than ever. Hi, Diego. It's been 73 days and no green card after the interview. Should I wait or make an appointment? Now, go ahead and make an appointment at the USCIS office. Set an appointment, bring your marriage certificate, your passport, both passports. Go ahead and set an appointment and go find out what's going on with your green card. They're very busy. I mean, they really are. They're overworked, okay? The immigration has got a lot going on. But you should have heard something probably by now. I would just go ahead and set an appointment and go and ask them, hey, what's the status of the green card? You know, that's the best thing to do. And then they'll give you the answer because they'll just look in the computer and tell you what's going on. I mean, I don't know if you have an online account with USCIS. Do you have an online account with USCIS? Can you go and check your online account and see put in your NOA2 letter information, the receipt number, see what pops up? I don't know. But I would go ahead and set an appointment. The green card process, the K-1 visa process it's not going as slow as some of these folks on YouTube say it is. You know, some of these folks are the doomsday channel. You know, the doomsday channel, especially immigration attorneys. They're like the doomsday channel. They want you to. The first thing they tell you is, don't forget. Just go ahead and text me, and set up a consultation. How much is that going to cost? You know, you don't need an immigration attorney to do this. Better than ever, will their answer be different from the online account? It says case is still under review. Well, then if you've checked your online account and it says still under review, give them at least 90 days. You want to wait at least 90 days before they can get it done, okay? You're at 73, so give it another 3 weeks, Matt. After 3 more weeks, once you get into December, let's say the end of November, beginning of December, your online account should give you a different status. By December 1st, you should have a new status. Okay? And if you don't by December 1st, then set an appointment. So you're still good. You're not the only one that's under review. There's thousands of people whose green cards are under review right now. All across, you know, not just you. There's lots of other people, So it is what it is, right? It's a slow process when you get into that kind of frame, when you have to wait for fixing something. But normally the process is usually pretty, within 90 days, 3 months. So the goal is don't get any RFEs. The goal is to submit a perfect K-1 visa application, submit a perfect green card application. When immigration see a perfect application, you're going to be surprised just how much quicker this thing will move forward. Okay? And, immigration is looking for perfection right now. We're human beings. We can't be perfect. Nobody's perfect, right? But that's what they're looking for. So just take your time before you mail your K-1 visa application. Make sure you haven't messed up anything. Don't make any typos. Didn't forget anything. Don't use expired forms. Don't forget to sign the forms. Don't forget to sign the I-129F. Don't forget to sign the 485, the 864. All right. Now, the doctor, the civil surgeon, should be filling out the 693. You do your medical exam in whatever country you live in about 2 weeks before your K-1 visa interview. When you get to the United States, your sponsor needs to be looking for a civil surgeon to repeat the medical exam. I don't care what anybody tells you. I don't care what it says at USCIS on the website. You listen to me, pay attention to what I'm telling you, and you follow my direction, my advice, you're not going to have any problems. Your sponsor needs to, number one, get you a social security number, find a civil surgeon to repeat the medical exam, and get your printed I-94s. The 3 things you got to do when you get to America: number 1, print the I-94s. Number 2, apply for your social security number with the I-94 and your passport with your sponsor. Number 3, repeat the medical exam. Number 4, get on the bank account as a joint account holder. Number 5, get on the bills, the water bill, the deed to the house, the apartment complex lease, the townhouse lease. Get on the title to the car, to the motorcycle, to the RV. Both names should be on the title to the car. And you got to print a new title and include it in your 2-year green card application. When you file for the 10-year green card application, include the title to the car with both names. If you have purchased something big together, like a new house or a car or a boat or whatever, a golf cart, if you buy something together, keep the receipt with both names on it and include it in your 10-year green card application or your 2-year green card application. You got to keep collecting the bank statements for your 10-year green card application. When Karina got on the bank as a joint account holder, I think it was February of 2024, we kept collecting the bank statements from February of 2024 all the way until March of 2026. That's how many bank statements we're going to have with her name on it, showing joint account holders, showing, oh, she was buying stuff at Walmart. I was buying stuff at whatever. Look at that, Francois Livingston. Look at that super chat. That's a super chat right there. To the best K-1 visa and green card supporters, Diego and Karina. Well, Francois, thank you, Francois. And Francois, very soon, we appreciate that super chat, by the way. And I can still eat at Hardee's. I just can't drink Mountain Dew anymore or Coca-Cola. So we go at Hardee's. We use the super chats for Hardee's, okay? But I drink coffee now. The doctor said I can drink coffee. I said, I want to drink Mountain Dew. No, you can't. Don't do that, Diego. I said, okay. So thank you for that, Francois. We appreciate it. And another one. Look at that, Francois. Part 2. Yeah. That's what's today? Today's Monday. Mm-hmm. So Sunday, that's our breakfast on Sunday at Hardee's. And you're going to be getting your goodie bag soon also, Francois. Keep an eye out. Better than ever. I'm just worried since my husband still needs to wait for a driver's license. Don't worry about that. And work permit. Don't worry about that. Since also my dad had to tell them things that didn't exist. Don't worry about that. It's irrelevant. Okay? What your dad said, does he have any evidence? Or is it just words? Does he have any evidence of the things that of what your dad said? What evidence did he produce for immigration? Other than just blah, 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 blah. He didn't produce nothing. Just blah, blah, blah. So what, so after 90 days, better than ever, just schedule, if you haven't heard from immigration, after 90 days, just schedule an appointment and go check in with them. Go face to face with them. But don't worry about what your dad said, because it's got nothing, it's irrelevant. And don't worry about the work permit and the driver's license. He's just going to have to wait for his green card. Like Karina had to wait for her green card. And everybody else has to wait for theirs. So hang in there, better than ever. And if you need me to help you set up an appointment, let me know. I'll be glad to help you. Francois Livingston, the super chats are Hamid and myself. We appreciate all you two have done for us. No problem, Francois and Hamid. We're glad I was just glad to see Hamid finally get to the United States and you guys get married. I mean, you went through 3 years of living nightmare just to try to get the K-1 visa, right? And you basically you had to go back on it for a second interview. I mean, but you got it because you listened to me. I told you get on a freaking plane and fly to the United Arab Emirates. I don't care what your boss at work said. You need to get on a plane and go there to the embassy. And that's exactly what you did. And guess what? His K-1 visa got approved. I knew it would. They just wanted to see you. Better than ever. He was just saying words since all that he said is not right. Don't worry about it. Words of immigration have got absolutely no time for words. They need to see paperwork. Remember, when you apply for a K-1 visa or for a green card, what is immigration looking for? Evidence of the relationship, not words, evidence, right? Photos together. Did you submit a ton of evidence? If you had any issues with your K-1 visa, it would have been denied at the service center. If there was any problems with the K-1 visa, it would have been denied at the embassy interview. Right? You're good. Francois Livingston, how's the diet? And the kitties, the cats? Well, we have Venny. We have two cats. Venny, Venezuela, is short for Venezuela. Venny, Russian blue. She's like the boss of she's like a mafia boss. And then there's Riddy, who's like a big freaking baby. Huh?
Mumbai.
What?
Mumbai.
Mumbai?
Mm-hmm.
What is Mumbai?
Es como Benny.
Benny is Mumbai?
No.
Riddy's Mumbai.
Mm-hmm.
But what is Mumbai?
Es su
she's saying that Riddy is just like laid back and doesn't stress nothing.
Mm-hmm.
She just chill. She's like a chill out. But Venny's like hyperactive. She's like an ADHD cat. And how's my diet? Well, I lost 25 pounds. I got rid of 95% of the fat on my stomach. I got about 5% left to go, a little bit more. And it's easy to get rid of the final bit. I just don't eat for 2 days. I fast for 2 days. And your blood takes 3 months to clean itself. Okay. So I had filled my blood with too much glucose with Mountain Dews and Cokes and stuff. So I had too much glucose in my blood. So my pancreas couldn't keep up with it. So my pancreas was producing all this insulin and I became insulin resistant. So my stomach just became a collection point for fat because of all the sugar I was eating in the Coke and the Mountain Dew. So I went on this super diet, okay, eliminating sugar from my diet and carbohydrates, just living on protein and water. And I lost 25 pounds in 2 months. I got a little bit more. So my blood, and it takes 3 months for your blood to renew itself. So my blood was all congested with crap, glucose. But because I've eliminated sugar from my diet, my blood over the last 3 months has rejuvenated itself and restored and repaired itself. And now my blood sugar is like normal. So I'll just go back to the doctor and have him pull my blood and check and see how I'm doing. But I feel great, actually. Since I lost all this weight, I feel like I'm 20 years younger. I may not look 20 years younger, but I feel it. So the diet's going good. I eliminated all sugar from my diet. I eliminated carbohydrates. And the cats are doing good. And Karina bought the cats this cat tree thing. And they climb up and down it. And they're just having a wonderful life in Florida. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And Reddy's just like a laid back, doesn't stress nothing. Vanny's like looking for trouble all the time. But it's all good. I've been talking for almost an hour, and I want to help you get your green cards and your K1 visas. Like I said, if you've been a member of this channel like Francois Livingston has, so Francois, you're going to be getting a coffee mug and a bag of coffee and a keychain. You're going to get everything. I'm going to send everything and a sticker. You're going to get everything because you've been such a loyal supporter of this channel for years now. And Karina said, I credit this coffee company. I want to help the members. I want to give back something to the members. And I said, well, give them coffee or whatever. And that's what we're going to do. I'm a little hungry. I don't know if the chicken thawed enough in time I was going to make a Thai curry. I may have to do that tomorrow. So Thai curry is good because chicken is protein. So probably that's going to be tomorrow. Mañana is Tilandia comida hoy no. So we'll see you guys on the next live stream. Today's Monday. Wednesday night is the next live stream. Tomorrow night, Karina has her English class. So she's keeping up with her English. And we'll see you on Wednesday. And Francois, thank you for those super chats. Hammond and I will always treasure the gifts. Good night, Francois. You're going to get them soon, okay?